Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. I am your host, Lance Fishel. Sorry I couldn't make it last week, but I am here this week, so Wes didn't join. We have something in our contracts that we can't join together. That's what
happens when you have kids.
Yeah,
I know.
We're allowed either two fathers or two Jews, but we can't have two fathers and
can't
two
mix.
Jews.
Yeah.
That's fair. And so me and Wes are in different phases of our children. As you know, he's got a young kid, so his is like crying, screaming, feed me, sleep, sleep, sleep. I'm now at the age of like baseball practice, baseball game, gymnastics, baseball, just boom, 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 boom. So there's always stuff that's coming up. So
yeah.
Shane's playing baseball. I know I can't play baseball. So I'm
crushing dingers yet.
I mean, he's 5. Their car's parked safely behind the fence. We've not expected anything to get over there. Really, if you make contact with the ball at that age, it's probably a base hit.
Oh, yeah. You get a lot of single and home run on errors.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. I think they're both going to be playing soccer for next season, so I can help out a little bit there because I played for a long time. So, yeah. But we did have a card last week. I don't remember. The card was good, right? I don't really remember. Did I enjoy it? Right? Yeah.
I mean, it actually felt like a good card watching it.
Yeah.
Which is few and far between lately.
Did you say something the other day, Sean, that you guys pay like a fixed fee for pay-per-views? Did I hear that right? Or is that like a legal thing?
Oh, that's a different thing. That's
a legal thing?
That's a young guy knowing how to use the internet thing.
That's a tech person saving some money is what that is.
Because they do, like in Europe, you can buy like what you get like BT Sport or something. The pay-per-views are free, right?
Yeah, but that's like an only England thing.
And it's also at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's why they don't make people pay for it, because it's at 3 a.m.
If I moved to Europe, I just wouldn't watch MMA.
I live in Canada and I barely watch MMA, and I do a podcast about it.
One of my this guy I work with that I'm good buddies with, he lives in Liverpool and he went to London for the Joshua fight, and then was thoroughly disappointed.
I quite enjoyed it.
Well, the fight was good, but yeah. Well, I once again spent $70 on a UFC pay-per-view, and I think it's
remember it.
Well,
you feel like you got your money's worth?
What's the difference? I mean, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not going to go through the hassle of trying to steal a pay-per-view. I've tried it before. I end up just clicking a lot, and then something doesn't happen, and then it like flickers once.
My God, viruses, and the computer slows down. You can't record the podcast. It's a whole thing.
And don't forget, I don't own a personal computer.
That as well. Yep, because that's you, Lance.
This is it. I got this work computer. That's all I got going for me. So I do purchase all the UFC papers. If I don't purchase one, that means I'm not going to watch it. And the card has to real bad. I can only think of there was one I didn't purchase in the last year. I think
you're a real fight fan. Even the ones headlined by Amanda Nunes and
yeah, buy those. Yeah, I think it's I don't know if it's real fight fan. I think it's 2 factors. 1, lazy, right? I'm not going to go find a link. I'm not going to do all the clicking. 2,
well, you're rich too.
Rich, that was number 2.
Yeah.
So it's rich and lazy. So those 2 factors just make it easier for me. If I want to search a link and it dies and I switch, or I just hit buy and then I buy it. It just seems simpler to me. I don't know. Everyone's different.
We're just living in your rich world, Lance.
When I'm going to Vegas in 2 weeks for 6 days, that should be something.
Sounds like a good time.
Your brother wants to only buy women MMA event pay-per-views headlines.
Yeah, so me and I told you guys my Vegas trip is split up between like the first half personal, second half work related. And like it's me and Corey, my dad, and then a bunch of buddies and stuff. And the Holly Holm
Norma Dumont.
That's the main event while we're in Vegas. So we will not be attending. Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't
Come on, you probably get a ticket for like $12.
No, it's the Apex. Guess how much they were? I looked.
Oh, right, yeah.
So they only offer VIP tickets. And I saw a couple people on Twitter, so they went, guess how much it was for a VIP ticket to home versus Dermont?
Like $2,000.
Yep, $2,000 to watch. I don't even know what a Norma Dermont is. I didn't know that name until I saw she was going to be the main event when I was in Vegas. And yes, I don't go to the fights, but I really do enjoy betting on fights in the sports book. And then there's that. Did you guys ever go to that one bar I went to where they show the fights and you pay like $25 and it's all you can drink or whatever?
Unlimited drinks. Yeah.
I like doing that. I'm not gonna no.
Oh, that's way better than, especially at the Apex. If you're with a big group like we've done in the past and you go to the arena, that's different. But
well, also it's different an event in Nashville versus an event in Vegas. Event in Vegas where we sat would be like $1,500. We paid like $150, so it's a little bit different.
And like Glover, you know.
Who did? That's when he was an underdog to Open St. Preux.
Yeah,
he was an underdog like every fight, Lance.
God, he's gonna win the belt. It's gonna be great.
Amazing 2021.
It is. So if any of our listeners are in Vegas in 2 weeks, I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and then my work stuff starts Sunday night. So I'm there basically Friday, Saturday, half Sunday. If anyone wants to say hi, we'll be at the Planet Hollywood. Anyway, let's move on to the card. Not bad. Starting off by the weight division, Jonathan Pierce defeated Omar Morales. Submission rear naked choke. Surprised here. I leaned Pierce. I didn't bet it. I couldn't pull the trigger because I just thought Morales was going to stick and move and win a really boring decision. But man, Pierce just looks like a doofus. Maybe he's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, Brad called this one.
Yeah? Did you play sub?
No, I didn't call it that well.
Sub was like, what was it? Like plus 1,000, 1,500?
Something like that. Yeah, it was crazy. Yep.
He's not bad though. Not bad.
He's okay.
He's better than I thought.
I think it's still hard for some of us to get the lows on beating him within an inch of his life out of our heads.
Absolutely.
It's a bad one.
I think that's tough. But yeah, we'll see. Matthew Smellsberger defeated Martin Sano Jr. knockout, 15 seconds. I thought when I was looking up this fight, I knew Smellsberger. I didn't know the other fella. I look him up and I click on his Dog and I was like, well, this is the wrong guy. So then I go back and I clicked on the Tapology one and I was like, what the fuck? That guy was in the UFC? what did I miss?
Diaz brother hanger on.
That's got to be the biggest group of losers ever. But just Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, Gilbert Melendez, Jake Shields, and all these little morons. That has to be – I'm trying to think of a bigger loser group of people than those guys. Just they lose constantly and then forget about it instantly and then talk. It just – the losing. Impressive.
I mean, that guy's not even a real fighter.
Is Nick?
He hadn't fought in like 4 years. He's like 4-2. He
Nick
was
had won
literally
a
only
decade.
there.
Is Nick a real fighter?
I mean, yes.
He quit because he got a bloody nose. Is that a fighter?
He
that
felt
Stockton?
bad for the people cleaning up the octagon, Lance.
Yeah, probably him
He
later.
did not want to make a mess. He's a gentleman, and he said, no, I bleed a lot. I will stop it before it gets to there, and we'll all have a party.
The only thing that Nick always had in his whole career was, towards the end at least, which was when he was like 28 and really primed out there. Cardio, heart, and guts, that stuff. Nope. He's the pussy on top of it. Man. So are people that are like diehard, Nick Diaz, what, like, are you guys still, like, do you still think he's like a tough guy?
No, he made a business decision. You should think he's smart, Lance. He got paid. He didn't need to fight any longer.
The guy's got the lowest IQ in UFC history.
Hey, most money per IQ point out there.
Maybe, and then some people said he looked good. I've never seen.
Dana White said he looked good.
I've never seen slower punches. Like, it was the first time in my life, not counting women's MMA, of course, that I was like, I could fucking just eat these punches. Like, I could eat these fucking punches and take him down and beat him up. Like, I thought that.
They were both underwater. They both were in
Robbie was gaining speed when he get into combinations and throwing a little bit. Like, I thought, like, when I walked in the fight, I was like, I could take Nick's best shot right in the face. And I have not been punched in the face since college. And I thought, man, I could take his best shot.
I don't know if that's true.
I'm not saying I could beat him in a fight. I would gas out and probably take a nap.
Cut.
Maybe by cut, yeah. But I felt like if he punched me as hard as he could, I'd be like, sup.
You'd be on your ass.
I don't know. I don't know if it's physically possible. I don't know if it's physically possible to punch that slow and put someone on their ass.
Every once in a while, he threw a straight one. But he doesn't have power. He has okay power, but...
And then he quit because he had a bloody nose. I mean, tremendous. And then we were talking in the chat earlier, and I made the statement, there is not a single person at 185 or 170 that Nick can beat. Not a single person. I couldn't think of a single fighter in the Russian Nick can beat. And then I threw out just a funny one of someone on a big losing streak in Sam Alvey. West thought Nick would dominate Sam Alvey.
He would.
I'd make Sam Alvey probably like an 8-1 favorite in that fight, and I'm not even joking.
And that's why you don't know what you're talking about, Lance.
Did you watch his literally? This was the speed of Nick's punches.
Sam Alvey does not throw a single punch, so even though Nick Diaz does not fucking throw with any power, he still lands a million times.
Sam Alvey. He said he was going to come out aggressive in his last fight, so I believe that next fight, he's definitely going to come out aggressive, and he'd smoke Diaz.
He'd put Nick out in one. No, because the second he did throw, because Sammy's usually good for one flurry around. That one flurry is going to bloody
even Nick, anymore.
That flurry is going to bloody Nick's nose up, and then it's fucking a wrap. You can't deal with that. All that blood, man. Anyway, that guy's trash. Middleweight division, Nick Maximo defeated Cody Brundage, 29-28. Maximo's not very good. Brundage not very good. Kind of tough. That's all I took from that. Maximov's not good, though. He is not good at all.
If he fights guys that can't wrestle, he'll do all right. Like he was going to do against Roberson. He was going to do that. He was going to sub Roberson.
I don't know. This guy sucked.
Brundage has decent wrestling.
It was just I don't know. That third round was just a bad fighter.
That was bad.
It was just not good.
Probably all that hanging out with the Diaz's not good for you.
Oh, God. These guys, just born losers. Just being around them makes you living in Stockton by itself makes you a loser.
Absolutely.
Now, Lodi, that's a different story.
Oh, it's Lodi, motherfucker. Lodi.
All right, lightweight division. Got to give you guys shit on this. I cannot believe you bet on this white fella. Jalen Turner defeated Medic by submission first round. You guys decided to agree on the little white guy to beat up the big black fella?
I like the under
too skinny.
much
too
more.
Skinny, Landon.
But are you guys going against everything we believe on this show? Hog analysis?
Pretty much. Well,
but it was
like
tough.
Then you might actually show up for a week. So
this show was founded on hog analysis. Founded.
The problem with that is he's also a tall, skinny dude, so that kind of goes against that. It's tough matchup.
I mean, I'm not talking about thickness here, just pure length. So Turner's not that bad, man. I don't think he's that bad. He's got some skill. He's got some decent power.
He's figuring it out. He's good. He was bad. Now he's got some things.
I think he's good. I like Turner. So I had the plus 275 on inside. Bad line. Loved it.
Damn, that's good.
All right. Didn't watch. Talia Santos defeated Roxanne Modafferi. I cannot watch Roxanne Modafferi. Can't.
Wes and Brad were trying to convince themselves that Roxy had a chance, and it's no dice.
I didn't watch the fight. I can't give any sort of analysis on it.
I watched parts of it and then watched other things.
Were they terrible parts?
Yeah, I mean it's what it is. I mean, if Roxy is out athletic and out wrestled, she lays on her back and gets smashed.
UFC is way easier to watch for the prelims during football season for me. Because it's like if it's like in August or July, I'm like, oh, and I force myself to somewhat pay attention because that's what I do. Just boom, other TV, football. It's way easier. Josh said I'm a Roxanne hater. It's not her personally. It's mostly how she looks.
The way she looks, the way she moves, speaks.
It's everything. It's all
she likes.
And yeah, I can't. All right, let's move on. The big half of the Dukaukaus brothers defeating Shamil Abdurrahman. I thought this was a pretty fun fight. I'm not a big heavyweight guy, but I enjoyed this. It was good. He just signed his fucking death warrant because we knocked out Blades and then we lost the title fight. But I think we're back. And there's one question for Chris Daukaus. Is he top 5?
He is. He's got top 5 potential.
Potential. I watched the Black Beast on that show Hot Ones. He was the guest.
Yeah, I watched that today.
Usually they like on the bomb, the crazy one, they take like a little bite. Dude fucked up. He took the whole wing down on the bomb, and you just don't do that. That's a bad. Dude, he had some funny shit. You hear the story about when he tweeted like, if you want to come fight me, let me know. And he made the people show up to his gym and sign a waiver to fight him. And this 41-year-old guy, he said, showed up at the gym and wanted to fight him. Derek Lewis made him sign a waiver that said he wouldn't sue him or whatever. It was the guy's birthday, and he was 41. Yeah. He brought his wife and his little daughter. And Derek Lewis said he threw a head kick 5 seconds in and knocked him unconscious.
And his daughter was laughing at him.
Dukaukaus is ranked number 7, Lance.
Ooh,
number 7.
Just a bit outside. Try the corner.
He's gonna be top 5 when he beats the Black Beast.
Are you gonna bet against Derek Lewis again?
No.
Oh God, I can't wait till West throws just a heavy duty wager. I wonder what kind of line we get.
It's already out. I thought it was already out.
Is it the first time Derek Lewis is favored in like years?
Dukaukaus is minus 140.
Was that the one that I saw yesterday? I have just too many fights going on.
You put it in the chat, I think.
Oh, why did I forget about it? That's a bad line. Yeah. Wow, Munich. Brad, you're gonna have to go Munich against the Dukaukaus brother. That's tough.
I can't do that. No, I'll abstain from voting in that election.
Brad, this is
Dukaukaus.
Brad, this. Come on. All right.
Lance, some things are more important than money. Some of us have principles.
True. Oh. Black Beast show though. Dan Hooker defeated Nazareth Haqparast. He looked great. I thought it was weird that the announcers weren't aware that he knew how to grapple, since he does. And he's done it in big fights with a lot of people. Though it was nice not having Joe Rogan around. I will say that. I know there was that idiot on Bloody Elbow wrote this article and everyone got all pissed off or whatever, but like Joe Rogan does suck. That's a fact. I mean, that is an absolute
he's sucked for a while.
Yeah.
We've been complaining about him for as long as we've been doing this podcast.
The Bloody Elbow guy just wrote that big article in Bisbing, and everyone was freaking out, and Anik and all of this. And I think it's because they made up stuff. Like, I bet the other announcers hate working with him. No. That was not our problem. That's not our thing. As a fight fan, Joe Rogan sucks. Yeah. He does. He literally, and I part of that article, because I did read through it when I saw the comments, and I was like, he is right. Like, Joe Rogan's the guy that shows up for it's like a 3 p.m. executive readout where you're presenting to like the whole, like everything, and he shows, oh, hey, is it time to go? Oh, we're starting now? Okay. I haven't read the slides yet. I'm just going to wing this thing. And that's Joe Rogan. And you can't do that with how the UFC is now, because there's no such thing as UFC caliber. There is 12 fights, and you haven't heard of half the guys. You can't announce a fight where you haven't heard of people. Not good. DC is just as bad. He's mini Rogan.
But it's also bad when he doesn't know shit about fighters that have been fighting and we know are good and stuff. That's the bad look.
I can deal with the
it's all bad.
Well, here's the thing with me.
It's tight. It's tight. He's got it.
I can deal with that. I think fighting and just how fights play out is you go with your immediate instincts and emotion when you're watching a fight and what you're thinking. We do that as fans. We don't say it out loud. If we bet a guy, let's say Ortega, like every time he threw up a sub, I was like, that's it, he's gonna win. Like, that's just my gut as a fan as I'm watching the fight. And you always think it's tight. And every time you see someone put a guillotine in, you immediately go, oh, this could be tight. And Rogan just, I can deal with just what he feels coming out. I can't deal with him just never hearing of a guy who was fighting, or like when DC, I forget what fight it was, he made this comment about Yeah, there was that one fight, and he did this. I forget who it was against, and he did this one thing, blah blah blah. And Felder goes, "Yeah, that was like 3 months ago."
Yeah, that was his last fight.
Yeah, like I can't deal with that stuff. But anyway, Hooker's great. He's fighting Islam Makhachev. I already saw the line come out plus 400. So yeah,
we'll do it. Bet Dan Hooker there. Yeah.
Yeah, Hooker inside. Yeah, knock him out. All right. Dvalishvili, Marlon Moraes. This was sad. I had some free plays saved up. Had a good bit on Moraes, and man, I got to give it to our boy, the snooze machine.
Hey,
that was an ass whooping. And then when he got on top, it was like he recovered so instantly from being dead to literally, like, usually you see, like, when that scenario, the guy will rest for like 30 seconds and maybe throw a little bit while he's recovering. He literally got knocked dead. And then 2 seconds later, he's throwing just vicious punches. I got to give it to him. That was a good fight. And I did not think he could come back from that when I was watching that live, or he had that in him. So I was impressed. And I thought his ground and pound looked better than it has. And I know Moraes was a dead fish in the ground, but I thought that was the site getting knocked out. Like, Merab looked vicious to me for the first time.
It wasn't just the volume. There was actually something behind it, right?
Intent. He had an intent to do damage. Usually he doesn't. I think he got pissed off.
I don't know if that knockdown, I think, woke him up or something, because usually he's very snoozy in there, and
I think
of course, just getting smashed.
Fighting's emotional. He just got fucking dominated, and he want to come back and make him hurt, and I get it. So
it's also like usually he's not able to hold guys down, so he's always focused on trying to get position, trying to get him back down, and Moraes not so great at not getting held down, so he had some options there.
Yeah, that was good. Andrade beating Cavillo, easy. Did you notice that DC was drunk during this fight? So Andrade is beating the piss and shit out of her, landing these huge bombs, like huge hooks, just hurting her, backing her up. And Andrade is kind of just like, Cavillo's kind of like sticking a jab out and kind of like brushing against her forehead. And DC keeps talking about the strike numbers are even. And this is a close round, and the strike numbers are even. And Cavillo's not doing that bad, and she's doing this good. And I'm like, what? And he went on about it for like 4 minutes. Like, I don't know if I missed something there, but that was some of the worst announcing I think I've ever heard. God, that was bad.
Yeah,
what was that?
That was
Andrade
a beatdown.
is very watchable.
But what were they seeing that I missed?
Cavillo would throw. It's just she threw with no power, and then Andrade would just like throw a bunch more and land, especially and way harder.
That was DC who was making no sense in saying it was close, right?
I thought so.
I think so. Because like he kept talking about the strike numbers. They should not be allowed. Someone as dumb as DC should not be allowed to look at numbers that you can read different ways. Like you let
those live numbers are horrible anyway. They change. They do them live and then they watch the fight and change them. And there's some drastic changes in both like throwing and landing in a lot of fights. So when they talk,
sounds like
about
an awful job.
strikes.
You have to just go back and
somebody's got to do it, Brad.
Horrible UFC fight to count punches thrown. Ugh.
I don't want to do that. All right, we got Blades defeated Rosenstruck. This fight sucked. I mean, this fight was next level suck. Like I won my bet. I was happy, but
Blades is scared, and that turns into a boring fight.
He is gun shy. He does not eat punches well when he gets hit. And you see what they said? Like he was closing his eyes. Like I noticed that too. Like he's literally scared to death to get hit.
I mean, the Black Beast destroying your chin will do that.
I mean, that's a scary man. We already talked about Waller Diaz. Who cares? Shevchenko beat Lauren Murphy. That's cool. I wish he wouldn't have made me wait so long for the inside.
I keep seeing this one gif of that fight where she like lands a head kick and then she lands like 10 punches in a row and the kick doesn't move Murphy's head. All of the punches that she lands, none of them snap her head. She's just like touching people with everything. It's
this this dude argued with me and started getting mad and said I was a new, like some casual or whatever, because I should like fights if it involves a talented fighter, regardless if it's entertaining or if she's entertaining.
That's not prize fighting. That's not what we're watching.
Well, I was like, sorry, I'm not entertained by shit that's not entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, should I watch a movie by a super famous director if it's the worst movie of all time? Be like, yeah, but it was Scorsese. Like, give me a break. I don't care. And then Volkanovski Ortega, great fight. I mean, and we heard the interviews after with Volkanovski, like saying how tight it was. And when he started kicking his legs like he was fucking about to die, I was like, okay, that's a wrap. Like, this is over. Like that, the triangle I don't think was as tight. That guillotine, that guillotine ends most human beings. And I got it. Volkanovski, I thought was so good. Like, I put him in a different level after that fight. Just what he did and the ground and pound and then getting out of those, just the balls on him. And I thought Ortega, I mean, he had chances, and that guy's just tough as shit. But that guillotine, that was a wrap. That was just a wrap.
That would have been a crazy finish, because considering how kind of bad he was getting fucking whooped up until that point, and then just to snatch that. And that dude is scary because he can do that at any point, even while getting fucking absolutely pummeled. And I mean, we've seen him do it a million times, lose 2 rounds and
too.
win.
That was round 3, the Ortega special. What if he would have won the belt like that in round 3?
The round 3 special. Yeah, that would have been.
Do you remember when people thought Ortega and Dubronx should fight to see who's the best submission finisher?
I don't.
You ever seen Dubronx get a fully mounted guillotine in and someone live to talk about it?
Yeah.
Like, if Dubronx was on top of him in that situation and had that choke in, he's not able to kick his legs. The legs won't even move because he's a dead body. Like, at least I think that argument has been settled. Speaking of Dubronx,
I was going to say it's very possible that Ortega could sub Dubronx, because we know that Dubronx sub defense sometimes isn't the greatest.
No.
But as far as offensive subs go, I mean, not even
but
close.
I couldn't see Dubronx early in a fight getting in a position that would put him in jeopardy. And also, I think Dubronx could ragdoll Ortega with his wrestling and get the fight where he or just keep it standing and punch his fucking head through a wall. Speaking of Dubronx, and then we'll move on to the next card. Did you see the Michael Chandler? Which, I mean, grade A moron. As we know, everything that guy says makes absolutely no sense. I'm not getting vaccinated unless it's FDA approved. Oh, it's FDA approved? Well, my body, my choice. You see that Texas thing? Abortion's dead. Like, Chandler's he's comical. He was trying to break down the Poirier fight, and he goes, Dubronx's hands, he hits really hard. His hands got a lot better. But I got to say, Poirier is better everywhere. Got me thinking, when you say everywhere, you only mean like tight in the pocket? Like, where are we talking? So if they're on the ground, your favorite old Dustin wrestling, you're going Dustin? Like, what are we doing here? Chandler anytime I can call Michael Chandler stupid, I got to do it. He lives like 20 minutes from me too.
Yeah, but like, what about Black History Month? You allowed to say that about somebody who's so essential to Black History Month?
That was one of the best moves the UFC has ever pulled, though.
So good.
They literally pulled up a white, like, Trump supporter, conservative guy to talk about Black History Month and why it matters.
Absolute classic.
Like, it kind of reminded me of, like, it'd be like a Chappelle Show skit.
Yeah.
Like, it was such an unbelievable moment that they did that. Black white supremacist. Why did you get divorced? At the very end, that was the best part of that thing. Oh, so good. All right, let's move on. But good card overall. I think we all enjoyed. I think we all made a little bit of money. So solid card. Let's then move on to this week, as we have UFC on ESPN plus 51. I stopped using the numbers and the names. I just say the fighter. So Santos versus Walker. It says this Soriano Padilla fight. That's not a thing. I don't remember seeing that till just now, right? Is that a thing?
No.
Not
even if it is, doesn't matter.
That got canceled, right?
Visa something for somebody.
That's why you got to use Amex, man. It's just more reliable. All right. Bantamweight division: Alejandro Perez, Johnny Eduardo. Man, Eduardo's coming for the strap. I don't care what you say. I mean, he's coming. I wouldn't fuck with him. You sure?
I hear he's the Nova União striking coach, which means something.
That's quite prestigious in 2021.
Yes.
Man, we used to think this dude never fought back in like 2018 when he would fight like once a year. He hasn't fought in over 3 years now. He's 41 years old. What everybody wants to fight, man.
Pound on the door.
Everybody wants it.
We got that Sano guy last week, and now we got Eduardo.
Perez, the fights he's lost in the UFC, they're against legit guys. He should put out Eduardo. At this weight, when you're 41 years old, things tend to happen to you that would never happen when you were younger. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets flatlined here.
Brad?
Perez is going to win.
It's not even like he's a 41-year-old heavyweight. Those exist. Yep. We got Glover going for the belt soon. He's in that range. That's all fine. When you're a 41-year-old bantamweight, you are in a lot of trouble. He's still the better striker in this fight, if we're being completely honest. But it's going to be rough for him if he doesn't immediately knock out Perez, because he's probably just going to quit sometime in the second round and just get bombed on. Pretty much everyone that's beaten him has finished him, so I expect Perez is probably going to finish him. But on the off chance that Eduardo catches something early, I actually be under quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, I'd like to break down MMA as simply as possible. This one is Johnny Eduardo, who hasn't fought in 3 years, who's 41 years old. And the way to know how long it's been since he's done anything is his last win in the UFC was Gambirian. I mean, I think that tells you plenty. I mean, I think Perez more than likely gets a finish here, but I'm actually fine just throwing this in a parlay on Perez. I know Perez is not good, but in the UFC, he's beaten who he was supposed to, and he's lost to who he was supposed to, and his losses weren't bad. He lost to guys that were good, and I think this is just a gimme for him. So I do like Perez. I think he's worthy of throwing a parlay. All right, anyone got anything to say about women's bantamweight division? Shanna Young versus Stephanie Egger.
All you need to know is
no idea who either of them is.
All you need to know: Shani Young lost to Sarah Alpar.
Who's that?
Contender Series.
So I know who that is.
The lady that's sponsored by Triller in another intelligent financial move.
Yeah, she's not good and seems pretty stupid. All right, we'll move on then.
I heard that Shani Young recently had a child.
Oh, congrats!
No, not for that reason. Mom quit.
Mazel tov, though. Starting a family is important. All right. Let's move on now. Bantamweight division, Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Gaetano Pirrello. Nushan?
Yeah, this is just a stay away fight for me. Pirrello was just a guy on short notice that Ricky Simone could just absolutely crush. Douglas Silva de Andrade is not great, and he is I feel like he's well beyond his 36-year-old that he is allegedly. So I'm just staying away. I guess de Andrade is better, but man, who knows at this age.
I mean, you talked about Perez only losing to legit guys in the UFC. Andrade has only lost to Murphy, Peter Pan, Rob Font, and in his debut up a weight class, some Russian guy who was on steroids. So, that's not bad.
Those aren't bad.
He's got some.
He's just old
wins as well. He's old, but I think he's pretty good. I think he's going to get Pirrello out of there because, as you said, that's just short notice because everybody wants to fight. And Ricky Simon made him look like a damn fool, and he doesn't do that to anybody. So I like Andrade here. I think this is another one I quite under as well.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Andrade's that bad, and I think the thing with him is we always talk about there's two things you worry about, is at least for me when guys get older, and one first is probably chin, is the name thing, and then two, you worry about do they get gun shy? Pass on both for Andrade. I think his chin's still fine, and that guy is going to spam shit in your face until the round's over, until the fight's over, and I think this is a pretty good fight for him, and the line's bettable. I think it was like minus 200 or so. So I haven't made my bets yet. I have a good idea of who I'm betting, but I wouldn't mind throwing him in a parlay, and I think he's pretty safe. I mean, hell, you could throw together, just do a quick parlay to start the card with Pérez and Andrade, probably plus money. Not the worst bet. Probably wins most of the time. All right, lightweight division: Jamie Mullarkey versus Devontae Smith. You, Sean?
It's Joe Biden's son.
Mullarkey.
Because Mullarkey?
No? Yes. I think Devontae Smith is going to win this fight, and he might finish Mullarkey in the first. I think if he wins, that's likely how he does it. If Mullarkey can stay in there, he might take over, and we've seen that Smith does have a bit of a sketchy chin at times. If he doesn't take him out in the first, he could gas out and get smashed on. So I like the under in this one. I got it at under 2.5 at minus 137. Just kind of covers me both ways. I think Smith is gonna finish, but you never know. Mullarkey might have that unathletic white man grit.
Brad.
I like the under as well, but I also actually did take a shot on Mullarkey round 1 at plus 600. Cashed for me last time out. Again, Sama worthy, because they always fade Kama worthy if you can. And I think Devontae Smith is similar in that he is a chinny guy who is good offensively, and Mullarkey's a little bit more durable. But I like the under. I got a bunch of unders parlayed together at plus 1,000. So this one, the Andrade one, the Eduardo one, and one to come.
Why don't you just do like basic MMA math on this one with the Kama worthy angle? This is easy. It's Mullarkey knockout. No, I lean Smith in this one. It's hard to trust a guy like that. You can't really get that worthy KO out of your head. Mullarkey's white, though. He's white. What's Smith knockout?
That Smith
I wonder,
KO
like,
is only plus 130.
Because there is an angle. Black guy with power versus pale white guy. There's an angle.
Black guy with power and no chin against pale white guy. Just take the under for like 60 cents more.
Has Smith ever been knocked out by a white guy?
He might on Saturday.
You know what they call that? Next level stats.
Next gen stats.
Next gen. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did get knocked out by John Gunter. So there you go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
not only is that a white guy, that's a white guy who has a curly mustache and stands like this in his Tapology picture.
Like the fighting leprechaun or whatever. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
triple white. That's as white as it gets.
Doesn't go minus 210. Doesn't seem like the worst parlay piece, but I'll take Smith by knockout there. All right. Next up, what we got? There's a lot of shitty fights in this card. Yeah, this one. Oh my God. Should we just Beth Correia versus Carol Rosa, and then shitty Shevchenko versus Casey O'Neill? You guys
Bet she's back, man.
You guys, I thought she retired, right?
She said she was going to retire. Then the fight fell out because I think of COVID or visa or something. And then she didn't get a fight forever. And now I don't know if she's retiring. I think she's just in there to get her ass whooped and then probably cut.
She needed to get one more.
She might be forced.
I swear she retired and it was over. I thought we were done with this.
No, she's back.
You have to be excited to see an athlete like Betch in the cage.
Man,
again.
the gifts are going to be out on Saturday, man. The gifts are going to be out on Saturday.
Oh, God. Die. All right.
Dancing. amazing.
Do you guys have anything on either of these fights?
I might take a round 3 prop on Rosa. That's how bad she loses.
All right.
Is Casey O'Neill going to finish the shitty Shevchenko?
I don't know. I try not to think about her because she tried to steal King Casey's name. So she's dead to me. Yeah, she's that one.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Unacceptable.
Brutal.
All right. We'll move on. Lightweight division, Joe Solecki, Jared Gordon. Nushan?
I think this should be a fun fight. Both these guys are usually in action fights. I think Solecki should win. He's fought, obviously Jared Gordon's been kind of thrown in there against some pretty brutal guys. Well, at least one brutal guy anyway. Solecki's kind of had the easier treatment, but he's looked okay in them. I didn't think he looked great in that Jim Miller fight, considering what Jim Miller is in 2021.
A badass.
He with a soft handshake though.
Oh God, he probably got flashbacks during his last fight from the Walgreens trip. I get it.
I was the only thing I was looking at in this fight was maybe Solecki by sub. It was like plus 500, maybe worth a stab, but I'll pick Solecki, but that would be the only way I would play this fight.
Brad?
Yeah, I kind of struggled to see that because every time Gordon's lost, it's been by knockout, I think. And he seems to have a pretty good wrestling and grappling game overall. So I think this is going to come down to if someone is a much better wrestler than Gordon, then he'll be able to get some downs and control the fight. But I don't think that's the case. I think that Gordon's going to be able to stuff enough of them, keep this on the feet, keep it in the clinch, and just do his dirty Gordon stuff and kind of grind out a decision. So I like Jared Gordon here.
I like Solecki here. I don't know if I love him, but I like him. I wish the line was a little bit lower, so it was more closer to pick him. But I like Solecki. I don't know. There's something about this kid. He's slick on the ground. Yeah, I mean, Jim Miller is kind of worst at this point, but it's still Jim Miller on the ground, and he's always a threat. And you got to be somewhat careful. He can pull a guillotine out of nowhere, and you got to be careful with him. But I don't know. Solecki just seems to have something, and I like him. And I could be proven wrong here, but I'm never been ultra impressed with Gordon. I bet him a few times. I bet him in his last fight, but he's not really good at anything. He's one of those guys that's okay everywhere. He's not good anywhere though. He has no real high-end qualities.
We lost Lance.
What?
Uh-oh. Brad's dead.
Brad died.
Brad, he'll be back.
Solecki does have a top-end quality, which is his jiu-jitsu. His jiu-jitsu is real good. His control is good, and I think he just got a little bit more. So I'll pick Joe Solecki. Brad, you left, but you're back. Are you good?
I'm good.
You're good? All right.
I thought you died, but I died.
No, you died. You died.
You died,
all right.
sir.
Speaking of death, let's move to the main card. As we in the light division, Alexander Hernandez versus Mike Breeden. Where'd they find this guy, Nushan?
I mean, he fought on Contender Series. I don't remember that.
Not a good sign.
So that's not a great sign.
Also,
and the guy who
worst
beat
sign, he lost Canadian.
He lost to who?
Lost to a Canadian.
Ooh, that's tough. That's never a good look.
And then the Canadian didn't even get a contract. So that's not a great sign. I mean, Alexander Hernandez probably should win. Probably should finish this guy. But he's minus 500. Man, I don't know. Seems sketchy, but I've never really hopped back on the Alex Hernandez train after he lost me money against Cerrone when I was all in on the fucking hype. So I'll probably just stay away.
Hernandez looks like he should never lose.
That's the problem.
He looks at his style. This guy should never lose. He kind of I'm trying to think of a comparison. He kind of Who am I thinking of? Kind of like Rick's story when he was kind of in his hot streak. I was like, who's going to beat this guy with this wrestling and this power? And I don't know. Like Hernandez seems like he has the pieces to beat a lot of people, but he really is only good at beating Chris Grutzmacher.
He's like Kevin Lee.
I like that you picked a guy who also lost to Donald Cerrone.
Maybe that's what I was going for.
Very good comparison, yeah.
And Demian Maia. He was the old guys. I mean, that was his thing. But yeah. All right, Brad.
Yeah, you got to go with Hernandez here. I feel like he's got a lot of confidence because there's a big gap between him and the other guy. And when he's got a lot of confidence, he actually throws. And when he throws and lands against these kind of guys, he tends to knock them out. So I think that this is probably going to be one of those fights where Hernandez looks really good. And then he's going to fight somebody good again, and he's not going to look good.
The KO line's not bad.
A little over plus money, right?
It's plus 140.
It's not bad.
I mean, he's not going to sub him.
One. Yeah.
Hernandez ain't got time for that. I like Hernandez here.
I think I have a plus 250.
Hernandez is good when he doesn't face much threat. I think that's kind of the key of when he faces threat, someone going forward, pushing him who's good. That's where he falls a little bit. But I think here it's just going to be one-way traffic. And, you know, the two things I was looking at after I just looked is Hernandez knockouts plus 140. I think it was plus 165 or 265 round one. And I think that's actually the most likely scenario is round one TKO, and it at, you know, plus 250, plus 260. I think it was, where is it? I think it was plus 260, it said.
Yeah, I've got
plus
just
240.
like a straight round one.
Hernandez round one. Hernandez round one, I see plus 240. Knockout plus 140. Those aren't terrible.
What about round one knockout?
I know I have plus 360.
That's
go.
I like it.
You too. Hey, we just did it. That is the consensus bet of the week.
Bingo.
Yeah, let's change our mind. That is the consensus bet of the week. That is Hernandez round one knockout plus 360.
Boom.
Not bad. That's a lot.
Two of us can't even bet it.
You guys can't
I'll
bet
bet
that?
it. I'll find it on some sketchy Russian book. Don't worry.
I'm sure you
I can find it on a sketchy site called FanDuel.
Ooh.
Oh, it's at.
Have you ever heard of it?
Bet online. It's just a shittier number.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my God. Women's bantamweight. Aspen Ladd, Macy Chiasson. Someone called Chiasson. Who was it? Someone told me it's poor man's Megan Rapinoe. That was good.
I mean,
Very
anybody
poor,
who fights
very
MMA
good.
is poor, so.
Yeah.
True. I was
Got a
like, at
head
least
start.
Rapinoe has talent.
Yeah.
right.
I'm Aspen Ladd's got a couple finishes in the UFC. I don't think Macy Chiasson's that good, but I think she can survive a beating. Goes to decision is like minus 150. They're just asking for me to bet that. It's calling my name. So I played it. I think Chiasson will probably lose and probably get beat up a decent amount. Ladd is somewhat of a skilled fighter. So I'll say Ladd by decision.
Brad?
I think last time we broke down this fight, because I think we broke it down before it fell off a card before. And by broke down,
shit.
I mean, like, talk
Skip
shit
it?
about it.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty much. But enough for me to say that I've never actually seen Aspen Ladd fight.
I remember
she's
that.
been out for a while.
Yeah. And
her
not
mom
going to
got-
watch this one either.
Look, Teddy's
Her
super
mom
pumped for
is
it.
on OnlyFans. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Teddy?
Oh,
He's very excited.
oh, so this was supposed to be like 2 weeks ago? When did we talk about that? That was like 2-3 weeks ago?
That was a while ago.
It was a couple months ago, I think.
I think it was like 2019.
I remember the OnlyFans part of that.
Yeah,
that talk.
there you go.
Yeah,
You
that was
remember the
all I
important
remember.
stuff.
It was supposed to be 2 months ago in July.
Oh, July 24th, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
I don't
Still
care.
2 months.
Glad.
Yeah.
Middleweight division: Misha Cirkunov, Krzysztof Jotko, the mighty powerful Krzysztof Jotko. Nushan.
I don't know how Cirkunov is going to make 185. This is going to be interesting. The dude is going to be a literal fucking triangle. I mean, he was pretty much that as it was, but his legs are going to be toothpicks in order to make 185 with that upper body. In this fight, like, if he can make weight, if he's not absolutely dying up there, he probably takes Jotko down and subs him. That chin is a liability at 205. I know Jotko could not knock out a fly, but man, Cirkunov's Canadian. I'm just a little safer. I went with the under 2.5 at -150 for a unit. I think Cirkunov gets it done, but just in case, he kind of quits. He's got a sketchy chin. You never know.
Bradley
might go all Canadian.
I'm trying to look up a picture of what Cirkunov looks like right now because I'm struggling to process him at 185 in my mind. It doesn't quite compute. But if he can make 185, his chin's probably going to be depleted. There was already no chin there to begin with. But it doesn't fucking matter in this fight. He's fighting Krzysztof Jotko. Like, this dude, we were talking before the show, he's got one finish in the decade that he's been in the UFC, and it was the Barn Cat. So that doesn't even really count because that dude's a plumber who plays video games and lost his way into the octagon one day. And that's how that went. I like Cirkunov here. I think that he's actually going to be able to very slow on the feet, but he's going to be able to get it tight. He'll get takedowns, I think, and might be able to get a sub.
Do you remember when the
He's
Barn
so
Cat?
Confident? What's that, Lance?
Do you remember when the Barn Cat killed Josh Saman?
And then what happened, Lance?
Really?
Josh Saman died right after. I'm just saying, it's history.
Misha's
right.
so confident he's going to make 185. His Instagram still says 205 pounds in the bio.
He can't read. It's not his fault. And also, I don't think you can claim he was born in the Soviet Union. Like, I don't think we can count him as Canadian.
Was Latvia Soviet Union? I should probably know that.
Last time out, we were like, is he Latvian? Is he Canadian? We don't know. So last time he was Canadian. So this time he's Latvian. So he's due for a win.
I just go straight Soviet Union, though. It makes him sound tougher. And he looks like a, old, thick Soviet fella.
And then what happens when someone touches his chin?
But that someone can't be Jotko. Jotko's terrible. I mean, I only see this going one way. Cirkunov immediately takes him to the ground, pounds him, chokes him, game over. I mean, assuming Cirkunov makes weight, doesn't die, he's going to be just absolutely ridiculously gigantic for 185. He was a big 205 pounder, and his wrestling against a guy like Jotko, plenty. He's got plenty of wrestling to get Jotko to the ground. He's not going to be in danger on the feet. And I think it's either a ground and pound finish or a submission here for Cirkunov, who's a little bit underrated with his submissions on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a quick step here. I will be betting him. All right, hot boy, Alex Oliveira versus Nico Price. What a fight. New Sean?
Yeah, this is two wild men getting in there. It should be fun for however long it lasts. Last couple Cowboy fights have been kind of interesting. Before that, there'd been a couple scenarios where he might have looked for the easier way out, but I don't know. I don't know if the game's catching up to him. I don't even know if he's kind of quitting anymore, but he is getting smashed out there. They are decent guys who've been doing it, but man, he got dropped by Randy Brown and then smashed, and obviously he got finished there. The Shave Cat looks actually pretty good, so I guess that's not a bad loss. But man, he's not in low event fights, and he seems to be finding his way out of there recently. Nico Price, he brings the heat. He's got big power. I think he probably catches Cowboy and puts him out of there. But you never know. The old Cowboy could pull something out of his hat early. We have seen Nico Price get cracked, but he's shown a pretty damn good chin. So I do expect him to finish Cowboy or Cowboy, but just in case, I took the under 2.5 at -140 for 2 units.
Brad, can you believe Cowboy is only 33 years old? I am 3 years older than Cowboy.
Yeah, but he has like
I'm right there
5
with you.
baby mamas. That ages you like another 15 years.
He legit looks like mid to. If you walked him on the street, you would think he was like 47.
Yeah.
Him
Man,
and Grandpa Trinaldo, brothers.
he almost looks older than Grandpa Ronaldo. Damn, Brad, who you got here? Old Nico.
I do have to side with old Nico, but most of all, I can't believe we keep getting these prices on Cowboy unders after what we've seen over the past years. He will look for the door, as we've said multiple times. He's just looking for that alimony check. He doesn't care if it comes with a win bonus. If he gets a win bonus, that's just more money that's going out the door to the kids. So he doesn't care. He just wants to cover the bare minimum, get paid, and make sure he can hide from the Brazilian authorities a little bit more. So I'm actually I might throw a little sprinkle on Nico Price by sub. It's anywhere from 11 to 1,500, and with the way that Cowboy's been willing to quit lately, I know Price normally gets it done by knockout, but I wouldn't be surprised if he found his way to Cowboy's back and locked in a rear naked choke or something like that.
This could be it for old Cowboy. He hasn't shown much life lately in the old cage. He gets hit once and it's just completely a wrap instantly. If he loses, this would be 6 of 8. And
Do you think he still thinks he's doing bull riding? So when he gets to 7 seconds, he's like, "Yeah, I already won."
How many times has he been subbed? It's got to be like no
6 times he has lost
6.
by sub.
He's only been knocked out once. Basically, if he gets hurt, he doesn't want to fuck up his knockout streak and be some kind of pussy. So he just lets you sink in the old choke. Not
Just
a bad
turns,
angle, Brad.
Goes to his stomach and just tells him to sink it in.
That's Brad. That's really not a bad angle there with the old Nico. Has Nico ever subbed anyone? 3 people.
Yeah, there you go.
His last sub, he did George Sullivan. That's a
big
win.
Big sub.
Brandon Thatch.
Oh, fuck.
That guy was supposed to be good, and then he got beat up by Benson, and then that was kind of it there. He retired, I guess, after that Nico Price fight. I mean, if I get choked out by Nico Price, I'm also probably retiring.
Maybe that'll be what happens to Cowboy as well.
Did Gunny Nelson retire?
No.
He hasn't fought in over 2 years.
He never fought to begin with, so he was one of those guys.
That's a good point. So I like Nico here. I was shocked that Nico inside was plus 120. He's not winning by a decision. He doesn't win by decision personally. Cowboy didn't even know there were 15 minutes in a 3-round fight. He wasn't aware of that. And I don't know, plus 120 on Nico versus Cowboy inside seems like a bad line. So I'd like Nico a good bit here. I would be pretty surprised if he wasn't able to put Cowboy away. Don't hate the sub angle, Brad. All right, let's now move to the co-main event as we have no division. Kevin Holland versus the other side of the Dukaukaus brothers, Kyle Daukaus. You, Sean?
Bucklands, you run a tight ship. We're on the second last fight, and we're only 58 minutes into this podcast. God damn.
Have you seen this card, though?
That's very helpful.
Scotch is going down smoothly. I went ahead and poured the half cup today of Scotch just to be safe so I didn't get up again.
Smart man. Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd get a nice big number on the little Dukaukaus. It's actually not bad. All of a sudden, some people have been hammering Kevin Holland because it's went up just a bunch in the last day or half a day or not even a couple hours.
He fixed his wrestling. He's wrestling with cardio machine Johnny Hendricks. If anyone's going to teach me to not quit and just kind of give up in a fight, it's going to be Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Noted
Johnny Hendricks.
Noted non-quitter.
Could you imagine if that guy's like, don't get me wrong, Johnny Hendricks, one of the greatest collegiate wrestlers I've ever seen. Could you imagine if that guy was your coach? That's enough. That's enough for today.
Let's go to the steakhouse. Fuck, I forgot it closed down because I didn't.
I bet more than technique.
Ran it into the ground.
That's enough for today. I bet that's what he just says over and over again. That's enough for today.
Yeah, good enough. Good enough.
That's good work. But we didn't even do anything. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. See you later.
And good warm up. Good warm up. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for a big number. I mean, like I said, it is climbing up. I think the odds makers know that Kevin Holland can't wrestle, and that's one thing that the little Dukaukaus can do. I think we were kind of caught off guard. I guess we should have known better because, I mean, Phil Hawes is a wrestler, and we kind of wrote him off, and we all played, or most of us played Daukaus last time, and I don't know. That was
we ignored the hog analysis. It was the fucking amateur hour on the MMA analysis.
That was a bad one.
That was amateur hour.
Daukaus gassed in that one, and I guess that's not surprising when he couldn't continually take down Phil Hawes. I think he'll be able to do that to Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland does some weird shit. It's always a possibility that he's, knocks you out from his back or some dumb shit like that. Maybe I'm just scarred from the Jacare fucking loss, but
you are. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the little Dukaukaus is going to take him down. Is he going to sub him? It's a possibility. I don't know. It might go to decision. Dukaukaus has got to be a play, especially at plus 146, what I can get it at now.
Fred?
First of all, there is no little Dukaukaus. There's a meaty Dukaukaus and there's a big Dukaukaus, all right?
The small Dukaukaus.
My bad.
We were on him against the Hog and, ignored the essential MMA betting in that one. However, Holland, not known for not even a little bit. That's why he talks so much, because he's trying to overcompensate for the lack of Hog. He's trying to make it seem like he's got that confidence, but no, definitely not. Dick. And yeah, absolutely.
Let's be real. He's got a white dick.
Yeah. His name is Holland, right? I mean, it doesn't get much whiter than Dutch people. Just saying. Dukaukaus can wrestle a little bit. He's not the greatest wrestler. He's not going to out-wrestle Phil Hawes, but he's going to out-wrestle Kevin Holland. And he's not going to get knocked out from his back from some weird hammer fists like Jacare. He's durable. And I think that the gassing in his last fight, he actually won the first round against Hawes, but he used up so much energy trying to get those takedowns that just weren't coming. That's what made him gas out. Those takedowns are going to be there against Holland. So I'm not too concerned about the cardio. I think that he's probably, he might have a dicey spot here or there where Holland lands some stuff, but I think he's mostly going to cruise to a decision.
I thought this was a very, very, very stupid fight for the UFC, regardless of outcome here, right? And Kevin Holland is not that good, but Kevin Holland's pretty popular. He's popular enough in the MMA space. He's a guy you main event with.
Got that COVID bump when nothing else was happening.
He's fun.
He fights enough, and he's got that Cerrone thing that he used.
I like Kevin Holland a lot. I like his style. I like how he fights a lot. I like how he doesn't make excuses when he loses. All that. I like Kevin Holland. What the UFC is, he has 2 losses in a row right now. You never won 3 losses in a row. That's not a good thing. You don't want to go full cost check on the business. And he already has 2 in a row. And in both of those, he faced a guy who wanted to get on top of him and ride him out in Derek Brunson and Vettori. We saw that when he faces guys that weren't able to take him down, that wanted to trade. Kevin Holland's really fun, and he's very dangerous on the feet. So what do? They literally have him fight a guy that I don't know if I've ever seen throw a punch without just using it to set up a takedown. So now they're getting a guy in Kyle Daukaus who is going to just wrestle, get in cup of Kevin Holland, especially with the book is out on Kevin Holland. Why are they picking a guy who is good wrestling and grappling and jiu-jitsu? I don't understand. And I know the UFC does dumb shit all the time, but Kevin Holland's coming off some main events. You got him in the co-main, and you're putting him in a pretty tough fight, win or lose. And he might be the slight favorite here, but even if he wins, like, this is a stupid fight. This fight did not make sense. He should be fighting a stand-up fighter. Let him do his thing. I mean, it gets old pretty quick, him talking shit while he's getting elbowed in the face from the bottom. I don't know how long that keeps you popular, but I like Daukaus here. Despite the hog disadvantage, which I think is obviously, regardless of what we've talked about, it's still there. It's a disadvantage. We know this. But I like Daukaus to get him on the ground, to beat him up, to elbow him. I think the sub is possible here. I could see him definitely getting him out of there with a sub. I could also see him just doing the Kevin Holland special, which is survive and get your ass kicked until the ref stops the fight because the bell. So I like Carl Daukaus here, plus money, plus 125, 130 there. So this is going to be the Munich.
6.
Wow, I haven't bet yet. So Munich play of the week. Munich. So we're ready. Easy winner. Let's move on to the main event. Really fucking confusing fight here in the main event. Light heavyweight division. Thiago Santos takes on Johnny Walker. You, Sean?
I don't really have a good angle in this fight. I think it's going to be fun. Thiago Santos, I don't know what to make of him. After he needed those knee surgeries after the John Jones fights.
He blew up both his knees.
Blew up both of his knees.
Like Carson Wentz fell out of bed and sprained both his ankles.
And then, obviously he did catch Glover, but of course Glover prevailed because that's what Glover does. And then last time out against Rakic, he didn't really. There was no takedowns really, and he just didn't really throw that much. The stats say that he actually outlanded Rakic, which is interesting. Yeah, fair enough.
I remember
didn't feel like a Thiago Santos fight.
He didn't win that fight.
No.
I think I remember there could be a case that he won that fight.
Bad case.
He definitely won the last.
Very bad case. Most people had it 29-28 for Rakic.
Yeah. Rakic sucks. Don't get me wrong. He fucking sucks, that guy. I hate him. But yeah, he lost. He won that fight.
Yeah, it was not great. So I don't know if he is 37 now. That is, it is light heavyweight, so maybe that's not that bad, but he hasn't looked great in a little while, and he's not getting younger. Johnny Walker is a very flawed fighter as well. He should have got flatlined by Span and pulled one out of his ass there. Good on him. I think if he wins, it has to be in round 1. So if you're liking that, you can get that for plus 450 in some places. I think Santos is the better fighter. That doesn't always mean anything, especially at higher weight classes, but I'll pick Santos. I don't really have a play on this right now. I haven't really liked anything. No overs, no unders. Nothing really is looking too good. Maybe it's a late ad when I'm bored if I'm watching.
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. Nothing really jumped out at me in this fight. So I saw that same Walker round 1 plus 450 and kind of tempted. We've seen Santos get knocked out a couple times early in fights. One by the original champ Dave Branch, the goat of all goats.
I thought you were talking about Gegard Mousasi.
Who's that?
Oh no, fuck that guy.
Or Spicely.
That's a good one.
That was good. I enjoyed that fight.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I don't know. Johnny Walker on the level of Johnny Walker's, he's below Red Label. Just not very good at all.
I think below Red, Red's insulting enough. But have you ever had Red Johnny Walker?
Unfortunately, yes.
It's embarrassing. You can't even fucking call it Scotch. Red's enough of a diss, Brad. Let's not go too far and say below
The
red.
Scotch snob over here.
So I say even for like the first round of a fight, he's like a Johnny Walker Black. You know?
Blue.
No.
Yeah, I think
get
he's
out of here.
Is he on the black level?
What?
Dude, Johnny Walker Black that's a $50 bottle of Scotch, so let's not act like it's some
step up from red.
Yeah.
Did you say that he's Johnny Walker Blue in the first round?
Yeah,
No,
I think so.
he would.
No, come on.
No, he's
Is
not.
he Glenn Levitt 14?
Absolutely not.
Blue's more expensive than this.
Yes.
Glenn
So
Levitt
if you're
makes a good Scotch.
if you're betting Johnny Walker, bet him in round 1. Anything other than that, even no need depleted old Thiago Santos is going to be able to do more in rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5 if it gets there. I don't expect that it does. I think this is probably going to finish sometime before the third round. I guess I'll pick Santos. I'll probably have him as the last leg in the days that I throw out there. And if they match, then I'll throw a bit on Walker round 1, just so that I'm guaranteed some money either way.
When this fight was first announced, I think like most people go, oh, Johnny Walker versus Thiago Santos. Santos. Is Santos worst? And
He might be.
Well, Sean mentioned like after the Bones fight and the knee surgeries. What's the one other thing? This motherfucker's 37. Old 37. A 37 who blew out both his ACLs at 36 or 35. Like, that's an old 37. And Johnny Walker, I don't know, man. Like, yes, he's done some stupid shit. He looks like a moron. He's a big idiot. But we cannot deny that on any given night, Johnny Walker can be extremely deadly. And he can put almost anyone out of there in that. He could put anyone. Would you be completely surprised if Johnny Walker put Jan Blachowicz out in the first round? Would you be shocked? Probably not. I mean,
no, I'd be shocked if he put Glover out in the first round.
Glover, you can't put Glover out. The only thing that's putting Glover out is COVID, because he probably doesn't believe in the vaccine because he's too strong.
That's right. Small business owner.
I don't know. Is this a passing from Brazilian to Brazilian here? Is this Johnny Walker's moment? And the more I think about this, the more I think I'm liking some Johnny Walker. You can get knockout around 2-1 right now, and I don't think there is another outcome for Johnny Walker to win the fight. He's definitely not going in and diving for guillotines. He has no
to the round 1.
Well, I think this seems like one of those fights where I'd split round 1 and knockout. Just in case, where you take the plus 470 on round 1, take the other half on knockout, and hopefully get both. But I don't know. I just have this sense that Johnny Walker is going to end the career of Thiago Santos tonight, and he's got a baby on the way with that horrible fighter. Like, his mind's in other places. So
it could happen. It's light heavyweight.
I'm picking Johnny Walker to get the upset and just completely flatline. I mean, the thing with Johnny Walker, when he puts you out, like, that's a hurt.
It's a highlight. It's a highlight. Yeah.
He's not going to get like a weak ass stoppage like Johnny Walker's putting you through the cage. So I do like Johnny Walker. I do think he can get it done this week. So we appreciate you listening in. We did do a quicker show tonight. Spent a little more time in the recap. Flew through the fights. That's what happens when the UFC gives us straight garbage. I think we had
just
5
wait until next week, baby.
Yeah, and I had a little more scotch than normal, so maybe a little faster talking. But I appreciate everyone listening. Really do appreciate it. We will be back. We will be back next week, right? There's a card.
There's a card every week for like fucking 10 more weeks, Lance.
Is there? What's next week? What do we have?
Dern versus Rodriguez.
We're going Dern Rodriguez and Holm Dermott back to back. Everyone wants to fight. Oh my god!
Right now,
hold on. What?
I'm not sure if this is official, but Jared Vandera might be in the co-main event next week.
No, it's Tim Elliott versus Tim Elliott's the co-main.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I don't know if Wikipedia has that right, Lance.
This card is wow.
You know what?
This
You know what fight is going to be fun? The Leech. The Leech is fighting next week. He's always fun.
No, he's not.
Is he? No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, that's on 260. I thought he's fighting on 267. He's fighting.
The Leech is
Chiasson
not
on
fighting
267.
next week.
Damon Jackson, the Leech.
Oh,
Versus Rosa.
fake
So,
Leech.
You think I'd
Man.
call him the Leech when his name is Little Jangalang? Come on.
That's
What's wrong
fair.
with you guys?
this fight
You don't
that's
even know
taking
me.
place, that card when I'm in Vegas, the home Dermont card.
That's fucking bad.
Do you know what the co-main event is? Andre Arlovski.
If it's against Carlos Felipe.
What
They're
is
going
this?
against MLB playoffs, college football, and they're like, yeah, home Dermont, Andre Arlovski versus Carlos Felipe. That's what we need.
What is this organization even doing right now? Like,
They are
It's-
pumping out content and collecting checks from ESPN.
But you have to think of it, right? Do their ratings change? Let's take an ESPN Plus card first. Do their ratings change that much depending on depending on the main event and the full card on ESPN Plus? If it's home or if it's a Johnny Walker's Santos, they're probably getting about the same ratings. So all they care about right now is pay-per-views because that's where they're getting all the extra bump. So
Extra
that's why
money, yeah.
all these pay-per-views we've seen this year, a lot of them, they're either garbage where they give up or they're just outrageously stacked. And we've seen that a few times, and I think it's because they don't give a fuck about these ESPN Plus cards or the ESPN cards. Like at first, we were like, "Ooh, ESPN card, it's going to be stacked." That was only the first couple months. Now it's like ESPN card, Holly Holm.
so did the pay-per-view last week count as a stacked pay-per-view? Like it was
No.
a fine card, but that's not one. that's
No,
gonna
it was that was
big.
no. I mean, the stacked ones are like they have Conor McGregor or something like that, or a big name, big title fight main event, and it's stacked. Like that's
You know
where
who
we're
they should
seeing where
bring
it's a little
back?
bit different.
They should get John Jones in the fight, obviously.
Versus
Not gonna
White.
happen.
Yeah,
They got to
sure.
get him out of jail first.
Brock Lesnar. We need to get Brock Lesnar back.
Well, John
They-
said he quit drinking. He's going to stick with the cocaine and all that, but he's going to quit drinking. So I think we're okay.
Smart man. Smart man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
we will be
UFC
back
is
next
back.
week to break down the wonderful fight of Rodriguez versus Mackenzie Dern with a co-main event of Tim Elliott. So I know, don't get too excited. We'll make it there. We'll get there. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good